So I'm just going to run down the 2-click flare. The last time we did this video, make sure you go back to it. It was all about the baby scratch, all about honing in how to do the baby scratch the proper way. And if you can't go through that video and be able to do all of the things that I did, you need to sit there and practice that, because the baby scratch is the foundation of all scratches. If you can't like play the baby scratch like an instrument over a beat, you got to go back. You really got to go back and practice it, because it's in every single scratch that we're going to do. And today we're going to be learning the 2-click flare. So anybody who's watching this video right now, I'm going to run a beat. I'm going to teach you how to do the scratch first. Then I'm going to run a beat for you guys, and then you guys can follow along. So I'm just going to pull up the stream so that I can see it. It was right here. All right, if you guys got questions and comments, drop them in. I will always answer them live, and we're going to get right into this. So shout out, make sure you like and subscribe, and we're going to get to the cuts. So the 2-click flare is a pretty sick scratch. Like it's probably one of the best scratches out there. And it's so versatile. You can use it on kind of anything and really make it sick. The allure of the flare scratch itself is that it's kind of named as the fastest scratch that there is, because the regular flare is just one, it's like one movement and you're turning the sound into two. So you're pretty well cutting the sound in half, and that's why it makes it the fastest scratch that's out there. So check it out. This is the baby scratch. The flare scratch. So as I said, the baby scratch is every scratch that's out there. So the flare scratch is that's how it gets to become the fastest scratch that's out there, because you're making one sound, you're turning it into two, you're pretty well playing it forward and then cutting it right in the middle, and you're halving it essentially. You can't get a better ratio than that. So let's do that slowly. So all we're really doing with the crossfader here is we're playing the sound, we're playing it, cutting it in half, like turning it off, and then playing the back half of it. So hopefully you guys can understand that. You're just playing it like a baby scratch, but you're going to take the crossfader and cut that in half. So that's the 1-click flare. Today we're doing the 2-click flare, as a bunch of guys have asked me to demonstrate this one, because it's one that I kind of rely on a lot, and that's how I kind of get this really crazy fast flow in my cuts, where it's like you're doubling that up. So the 2-click flare is the same idea. You're doing the exact same thing. You're pushing it forward, but now you're cutting the sound off twice. So hopefully you guys are understanding that. That is the double-click flare. We got a comment from Div Piv in the building. What's up? What's up, Div Piv in the building? Make sure guys are smashing that thumbs up button, just so this can kind of get out to more people. Like and subscribe, and let's get into the cuts here. So the double-click flare, or don't call it that. People are going to make fun of you if you call it a double-click flare. The 2-click flare is the same as the 1-click, except you're just doing 2 clicks. So you're pushing it forward. Simple. Push it forward. And that's what it's going to sound like fast when you're doing it double time. And once you start hearing that sound, you're going to hear that in almost every scratch pattern. Like anytime you see a sick scratch DJ, you're going to see that pattern in there, because it's just like, it sounds so funky. It's not very difficult to pull off. And it sounds crazy. Like you're getting so many notes out of this very small movement. So slowly, I'm just gonna do it slowly again. You're doing a baby scratch over here. All right, Div Piv, I will always drop like a freestyle scratch at the end of the tutorial. Right now, we're just teaching you guys how to do the double click scratch so that if people watch this replay, you can always come back, you can set up your tables and then scratch along. So now that I demonstrate the 2-click flare, I'm gonna show you guys how you can use it like in a set, in a scratch, and how to like practice it properly. So actually the best way that you wanna do this is you wanna grab a metronome. And if you guys don't have a metronome, I'm gonna add this into the comments as the pinned comment. I do have free scratch samples and a free metronome that I will give you guys. But pretty well, you just want to pick a speed. Normally, the slower, the better, and start there. So once again, please, you guys, smash that thumbs up button. Just smash that for me. Smash that heart as many times as you can. And we're going to get into it. And a metronome, all a metronome is like a beat without a bunch of sounds on top of it. It's just like the drum beat. Do. And this is going to help you out in so many different ways because it's going to build your inner pulse, which is so important. If you don't know what an inner pulse is, if you're struggling mixing, this is something that you have to do. It's going to really help you out with your timing, really being able to drop on tracks. It's going to be helpful. So pretty well, we got a 100 BPM metronome right here, and we're just gonna do the double click flare right now. And this is how you're gonna wanna practice it. I'm gonna scratch for four beats, and then you follow along if you're watching the replay. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And that's really how you want to practice almost any single scratch that's out there. You want to practice it very slow and very controlled. And your inner pulse is like my ability to do that without a beat. Like that is doing it on beat with no beat whatsoever. I'm kind of playing along. And it's because inside I can count, I can keep time inside. So if you were a drummer or something, you got to have a serious inner pulse because you are the pulse of that entire track. So I'm just going to go a little bit faster. I'm going to check these comments. If you guys got questions as well, make sure you drop them in the comments. I will always answer any of your guys' questions. So now I'm going to amp this up a little bit. I'm going to show you guys your first combination. So you're going to have your 2-click flare. So that is 6 notes. Because that's 6 notes and we can fit in 8 notes, because pretty well any bar is going to be 8 beats. We can fit in 8 notes there. What we're going to do is we're going to add a chirp scratch to the start of that. And it's crazy like how much better I can do it faster than slower. And that's a testament to like us DJs. We always want to kind of move faster, further than we're able to do, but sometimes we really just got to slow it down and go back to the basics. Okay, yeah, I'm going to add the samples and the metronome to the pinned comment as soon as I end this stream. I don't know, I don't have it on me, but I will add it in there for you guys. I feel like you guys might want me to slow it down a little bit there. So again, it's just a chirp scratch. That's how you start sounding sick. It's by being able to proficiently do these scratches the proper way, and then you start getting faster and faster. Like if you just think you're gonna get behind here, you think you're just gonna cut it up one day, you're just gonna walk behind the decks and cut it up. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Like imagine you were in a band, like you wanted to be a guitar player. How do you think you would ever learn how to play the guitar? You just start picking it up and start slashing? Or are you gonna go get yourself a coach, you're gonna get yourself a guitar teacher, and you're gonna spend like hours practicing like one note until your fingers are bleeding? That's the same thing for scratching. Like you're never gonna get good unless you like really slow it down, really go back to the basics and start learning the proper way to do things. And again, like one of the worst things that you can do is teach yourself bad habits, not practicing the correct way. This is one of the things that held me back for like years. It kept me sucking for a long time, is that I never spent the time to learn how to properly do these, and I just started doing it the way that I kind of saw it online, or thinking that I knew this was the way, and that was the furthest thing from the truth. Can I do the flare with both hands? So no. Once I started working with my coach, we really just picked my left hand to work on. My right hand is where I started my scratching, and for like 10 years, I was a really bad scratcher. In the past 2 years, I got way better. And I always started with doing it on my right hand. So on this hand, it's a lot faster, but I can't do like a 2-click flare. But I can do way faster chirps. So I can do like chirp scratches, anything more record control, I'm better with my right hand, but anything that is more like dominant on a crossfader is going to be done with my left hand. And it's just because I haven't put the time in to learn that. I had to unlearn so many bad habits that I had to go back to the basics. And the easiest way for me to do that was to use the hand that I wasn't good with, because it's unlearning all of these bad habits that I had. So as soon as I started working with a coach, like my scratching just went up so quickly, so much better, because I was getting rid of those bad habits that I had. My girl is calling me, so sorry y'all. My girl just called me, so hopefully you're all still here. So we're just gonna get right back to it. Hopefully I didn't lose too many people. We just go speed it up now, and then double click flare even faster. Shout out Hessa Beats. We on the demo right now. Hessa Beats in the building. DJ Maurice in the building. What's good? We got mad people up in here. The platter release. So what I also learned is you don't ever really want to release. You only want to release in very specific applications. You normally want to keep your hand on the record at all time, because you got to be controlling that record. You can release it, obviously. But if you're releasing it, you're kind of ending that combination, right? So what we're more interested in doing right now is drilling, like spending the time to really drill these patterns, right? If not, you're not ever going to learn the proper way to do things. So I'm just going to do at 120. We got a 120 BPM right now. I'm just going to do the original 2-click flare demo, and then I'm going to give you guys some practice time. So if you guys come back to the replay, you can practice over this. And please, you guys, smash that heart button. I lost a lot of viewers when my girlfriend called me, so smash that heart button and let's get into it. All right, that's all you guys. If you come back to that video, all we're worried about doing right here is just 2 times. And we're at, it shows 112 BPM. Not that fast. This is something that you guys should be able to do. Once you kind of have that control over the crossfader, super easy. So that was just 2 double click flares in a row in 1 bar. We got mad comments here. I'm going to check them out. Yo, the kid in the building right now. So Maria wants to do show each hand doing it. Oh, okay. Yo, like the patience of learning how to scratch is insane. Like my whole life, I wanted to scratch I've been a DJ for 20 years now. For the first 15 years, I was the worst scratcher in the world. I spent a lot of time too, like practicing, but practicing the wrong way. Like I've got so much faster. Like if my whole career went like this, it's been up like that because I started learning the correct hand placements and the correct ways to do things. So if that's what Maurice wants, that's what Maurice is gonna get. So the 2-click flare, I actually showed this at the start of the video, but I understand a lot of people joined after. So please smash that heart button if you can. And I'm going to show you guys again how to do the 2-click flare. So very simply, all you're doing is a baby scratch. Baby scratch. And then with the crossfader, you're going to be turning it off twice. You're going to be clicking twice. It's called the 2-click flare. So 2 clicks. Hopefully that's what you were asking. And as always, like you really want to spend your time doing this slowly. If you can't do it, you really want to spend your time learning this slowly. If you cannot do it slow, there's absolutely no way that you can do it fast. Like even me, I struggle going super slow, but it is like once I start getting fast, I can start getting a lot better very quickly, but I still struggle doing it very slowly. just as important to be able to do it slowly as it is doing it fast, because when you do it slow, this is the way, like, this is a hack for you guys. Anyone watching right now gets one of the biggest hacks out there. Back when I thought it was like having 100 cuts was what made you think that you were like really good and sick at scratching. It's not that at all. What makes you sick is the ability to go from like single time to double time and to kind of variate your pitch. That's where it comes to, has to come out. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, my girl keeps blowing up my phone right now. This is what happens, and this was why I'm not putting out too many videos right now. I got a new baby. I got a girlfriend who just won't stop with me. So make sure you guys subscribe, because I just go live whenever I have a few moments. And even when I had a moment today, not cutting it, not cutting it. Patience. All right. I brought the Rain Performer, and yo, if you want to learn how to scratch and you got that Rain Performer, I would really recommend even just book one single call with me, and you'll learn like the proper way to scratch. If not, you're just gonna spend years trying to do this yourself, and it's gonna fail. Take it from me. Like, I was that guy who thought I would figure it out myself. It never happened. Please make some tutorials about key lock. Key lock is fine. Like, when you're at the club mixing, it's so important to have key lock on. On this, when I'm scratching, you don't want key lock on. So at home, I don't have key lock on. On my working club computer, key lock stays on no matter what. Like, I don't play without key lock, if that tells you anything. So if you're at the club mixing, you want key lock on. But that's a good idea. I'll make a video about key lock. Best method that works for me to learn and teach is using TTM. I'm going to have to check that out, the kid. I've never seen that. TTM. I only know time to money, man. TTM, time to money. I thought you can only cut when... No, man. Yo, from what I learned, like from my teacher, Vex, who's a 7-time DMC world champion, he said never, ever, ever release the record, ever. You always want your hand glued to the record, because that's your control. Like, unless the drop is part of the scratch, or like you're finishing off your scratch, never take your hand off there. Don't do it. I'm in love. I don't know if I'm in love. I love my baby. Yeah. Time to change some diapers. What are you doing? Why are you in there making a live stream? There's shit to do out here. Do the yard work. Do some. What are you doing making a live stream? That's all I'm getting right now. Blowing up my phone. I feel you. Alright, so we're just going to get back into it. I'm going to kind of finish you guys off here. And then I clearly got some work to do. But pretty well, for this video, it's only about the 2-click flare. Make sure you guys subscribe to me, because I'm going to pick a different scratch any day that I go live. But I don't really have a time that, like, today is when I'm going to go live, because my life is crazy. But I'm just going to continue to do lives and scratches. So let's go. Next up, I'm just going to give you guys the variation, the combination scratch here. So there are 2 of them. You can either do one chirp, or you can do 2 chirps, 2 2-click flares. So those are 2 different variations. I'm just going to go back and forth between them. And feel free to copy this if you guys are practicing with me. Turntable. Oh, turntable transcript. That's where like they draw it out. They draw out the cuts. I've seen that. I've never really dug into it, but I've seen how it can be very beneficial. Like I can see that it would make sense. The time visiting my family before school. I want that PTO one. Like I feel like I need it because sometimes it's just so difficult to get all your practice stuff ready. It's that's a big hack right there, is always being ready to scratch, being able to just turn it on and ready to go. If not, if you gotta like set your gear up, set things up, get ready to start scratching, that's a big deterrent for people who want to practice. You have to make it easy on yourself. You got to be able to just like flick a switch and be ready to start scratching and cutting. If you got to make it a big production to practice, most people are not going to do it at all. So make it very easy for yourself to scratch. So I guess I got work to do. We're coming to the end of this video. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to do some freestyle scratching using the 2-click flares, different ways that you can kind of use it in the cuts. Yo, DJ Maurice, man, very easy. Like I've been scratching for 15 years. Only in the past year and a half, like almost 2 years now, is when I got good. So I've only been practicing like for real for about a year when I started working with my coach. Any time before that doesn't count because I was doing it incorrectly and I sucked. So it doesn't take long. It does not take long to get good, but you gotta learn the proper way to do things. If not, you're gonna have a hard time. So let's do this. Let's pick a beat here. What are we gonna run? We're gonna pick a beat. Toby. All right. Hopefully y'all can hear that. This beat kind of sucks though. Kind of really sucks. There we go. There we go. Yo, beat cut me out, man. Beat cut me out. Crabbing? I can definitely crab. Crabs ain't no thing. I just made up a combo right there. There's a combo for you. 2-click flare, drop, crab scratch. That good? Got the crab scratch for you? Crab scratch is like, it's very easy, very simple, but once again, it's just spending that time getting the dexterity up. That's how you're gonna want to practice the crab scratch. Is just take your fingers very slowly. You can't scratch using Virtual DJ because Virtual DJ is garbage. Go try and scratch on it. You're going to hear that it sounds like garbage. So I probably would never recommend using Virtual DJ. And that's all you're going to hear from me on that topic. I end up snapping in a wrong way. So if you're snapping, that means that like you're not, you don't have the dexterity. You don't got the fluidity. I would spend the time really doing it slow, really building that muscle memory correctly. Like you're not gonna crab like that until you can literally just. Anyways, that is a whole different topic completely. We ain't talking about a crab scratch right now. I'm not a hater, JTM, it's just the fact. Like, please, JTM, I will do a video crab scratching on Virtual DJ if you can ever show me in the history of the entire internet a video where there's like a sick DJ, like a Jazzy Jeff, making a scratch routine on Virtual DJ. Anywhere, on the entire internet. Like, scour the whole internet. You find me a sick DJ using Virtual DJ, making a cut routine, and then we can talk. But I know that it doesn't exist because there's no sick DJ who uses Virtual DJ. They're not good. Like, it's just not good. And whoa. This phone is an Android. Don't hate. Yeah, man, like, and that's how it should be. The technique is always very, very simple. The technique should never be hard. If it's hard, you're doing it wrong. And that's something that I had to learn the hard way myself. Like, I always thought that there was some secret. Like, you just needed to touch the sauce and then you're good. But it's not that. Like, the simplest explanation is that you got to really slow it down and do it easy. If not, like, you're never going to run before you know how to walk. So you really got to, like, spend the time and break things down in the simplest format, like doing just doing that for hours, like 10,000 hours. I know how boring it is and how like annoying it is. And someone in here said before, you don't have the patience to scratch. I totally understand that because that's all it is. It's just patience of doing the same thing. Like your baby scratch forever, for 10,000 hours. But you have to build that muscle memory. You gotta build that or it's just not there. Hater, anyways. Yeah, Serato DJ Pro record, yeah, on the market. Sit, Serato is it, man. Oh, Ash Crew in the building. We got Ash Crew in the building. Shout out. VDJs most used in Africa. Yo. I'm taking a screenshot of that. That's a good comment. Ah! Almost killed us, man. Almost killed us. That's killed me, man. Link up and practice. Yo, DJs don't practice anymore. There's no DJs out there practicing. Only the GOATs still practice. Most people couldn't be bothered. They're a bunch of bums, man. Okay, yeah. So the scratch samples, right after this, come back to this video in like 10 minutes. I'm going to pin the comment to the free scratch samples for you. I'm not hating, bro. I'm not hating. It's just a funny comment. It was just a really, really funny comment. All right, y'all, I'm going to be taking off, man. Good to see you guys. I go live randomly whenever I'm kind of feeling like it, whenever I have a moment, usually when, you know, you're not around. Easy, y'all.